Can you see the fear in my eyes? So I'm currently quarantined and I've decided to spend my days in quarantine learning stuff, and today I've decided to learn how to weld. I don't know anything about welding, I've never done it before. Whenever I have a project in need of welding, I've always turned to my friend up the street, Sigge, and he's always helped me out. But my friends say I'm not a real farmer nor a real man if I don't know how to weld. So today we're gonna do something about that. So I went out and got myself this, and hopefully I'll learn how to use it without burning down the whole barn. I also got myself a pair of gloves and some of these sticks for stick welding. They probably have a name. I also went out and got myself a welding mask that's currently inside the house getting worked on by professionals, and I can't wait to see how it turns out and share it with you guys. I've called a friend and they said that the grounding clamp is in minus, and that should mean that the handle for the stick is plus. I don't know how this feels though. There's a lot of precaution, and the pamphlet is full of warnings that you might die. But what I'm told is to put this on the metal that I'm welding and have the stick in here, and we should be fine. So I went and got myself some scrap metal that I'm gonna practice on. Now this is not a big piece of metal, so I'm not quite sure how to. Maybe like this. And this is a pretty thick piece of metal, so I don't know what this number should be. But why not just try something and see what happens? Now I think we're ready to try this. All that's left to do is go and pick up the protective mask and see how the design turned out. All the welder's mask that I've seen has some design on it. Flames are popular, but since my mask came in all black, we had to be a little creative. Er Oskar klar? Den er kul! Den er skikkelig bra. Tusen takk, ass. Apparently the light from the weld will melt your eyes, so that's why we need this mask with a dark glass to protect them. And it's some high-tech shit, because I can see everything now, but once I have a bright light in front of it, it shades down so that my eyes won't melt and I can still use them. Okay, let's do this. Can you see the fear in my eyes? So I think I just have to practice and figure this out. I have a lot of scrap metal and a pack of sticks, so I'm just gonna go to town and see if I can figure this out. So there are three factors that I need to think about when doing this, and one of them is the thickness of the steel, how much juice I'm using, and how long I'm doing it for. And apparently, if you have a thicker steel, you need more juice, and you need to do it for a longer time. And I can't seem to figure it out. It looks like this, and this. And this is my attempt to attaching these together. And the stick says that the sweet spot is between 60 and 100, and this is made with 60. I'm starting to think that maybe it's not me. It could be the sticks. Yeah, right. So I'm gonna do some reading about these sticks, and I'm gonna call my friend Sigge. I also have a calf that needs feeding, and then it's time to do that now, so. Okay, so I talked to my welder friend Sigge, and he said that these sticks are not the way to go when you're learning how to weld. So instead he gave me these. These old ones are for point welding, but if I wanted to stick and last, these are apparently the way to go. He also said that the metal I'm using, it's way too thin for practicing, so he gave me these instead. So now my assignment is to try and weld these together. Okay, so the new sticks were a lot easier to work with. I had some problems igniting them. I had to scratch a lot to get it started, and also they got stuck sometimes, so I have to wiggle, and this clamp needs to be in contact with the metal, so this whole thing would be a lot easier if this whole table was of metal, or if I had a metal plate underneath that I could attach it to, like here. That would also mean that all the cables were out of the way. Also, so I don't accidentally burn them. It gets crazy hot. That's also why this table should not be of wood, because there is a fire hazard. Also, an angle grinder would be nice to like brush the metal before welding it. I can't find my angle grinder, so that's why. But now it's time to try and weld these two together and see if I've learned something. Okay, so what Sigge said was if I were to weld these two together now, they would go like this and go separate ways on the bottom. And that's where the old sticks come in handy. Apparently this is what they're good for, so I'm gonna try and make contact points on both sides to stick them together. Okay, let the welding commence. Well, it's not pretty, that's for sure. If it'll stick though, I don't know. What I find hard is to know what angle to hold this, if I'm supposed to hold it from a 90-degree angle or drag it slightly towards me. I'm gonna try the other side as well to see if I can do any better. I'll keep the machine on 70. I'm just gonna go way slower. Well, he's definitely not giving me an A on this one. I guess it takes a little more practice to get the right feel for it. I find it challenging to understand how fast I should go. Here I've used one stick, and I should have probably taken it even slower and maybe used 2 or more. And can I weld over this now, or do I need to use the angle grinder to remove it before I can do it again? There's so many questions. I also see that they show what angle you're supposed to use the sticks when doing this weld, right there on the package. So for this particular weld, I should have held the stick in a 90 degrees angle. And the mask works really great, and it looks good, but I wonder how much fumes I've inhaled today. So I should probably find something to protect my breathing as well. So now I know what I have to do for the rest of this quarantine. Practice, find a better surface to work on, find the angle grinder, use different speeds, different pieces of metal, different amps on the machine, use the right stick angle, get the stick to start again after it goes out. And when all this is over, I'll head on up to Sigge's house and sing until he teaches me how to do this properly. But it is fun though, maybe except from when the comment section will boil over with rage from experienced welders. But that's okay. I know a little more about welding now than I did yesterday, and hopefully some of you will too. I want to thank my awesome patrons. I also want to thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.